Can Timmy and Sara retire next year? Timmy's 54 and that's his goal. Let's dive right into it using the right capital software and see where we come out. So as always, don't forget to subscribe, my friends. I think I've been forgetting to ask people to do that. Subscribe and then hit that little bell to be notified for future content. So let's dive deep into the right capital software. And Timmy and Sara are actually real life people who've done this. I've changed their names to protect the innocent, so to speak. But they actually went online and updated the software. Probably the best I've seen anyone do to this point, so it's pretty sweet. All right, so let's dive right into this, my friends. So they got a net worth of $1.38 million. All right, and they got, don't forget, your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth. So we're going to click on this details to get a gauge of what we got here. And we got bank, got $28,000 in the bank, investments 1.12. They got real estate assets at $250. They got home equity, mortgages. We'll talk about all this for sure. I don't really pay a whole lot to this right here. Actually, what I do is I go to the details. We're looking for equalization of estates. So if you're using this software, the first thing you got to make sure is that Timmy owns what Timmy owns, Sara owns what Sara owns, and you both have it jointly owned. I had to work with a guy yesterday, and by default, everything came in his name. Not a huge issue in this day and age with the estate tax being pretty high, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure the ownership is in correct hands. And so what happens in this case, the guy had Sara's 401k owned by Timmy, and it wasn't owned by Timmy, it was owned by Sara. And there's things for that because, don't forget, required distributions and things of that nature are based on the age of the owner in particular. So what else we want to do from an estate plan perspective is equalization of estates. We want to make sure that everyone owns what they own. Be simply, if you're in a common law property state, is different than if in a community property state in terms of how you settle your assets at your death. All right, so we want to make sure that we have the correct legal documents too. So if Timmy owned everything and Sara owned nothing, doggone better make sure we have a durable power of attorney. We better make sure we have medical directives, all that stuff. So because if Sara has nothing in her name and everything's in Timmy's name and she does not have a durable power of attorney, that's going to be in a world of hurt for sure. All right. So what you see here is you see Sara has some stuff. Timmy's got the bulk, and they got their home is held jointly. Okay, good. They got a primary home mortgage of $72,000. They own Tucson looks like that's in Sara's name. Trucks in Timmy's name. A camper is in Sara's name. Then they're going to do a reverse mortgage. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. That'll be joint. All right, so that looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to profile. So let me move my big old mug out of the way here. We're going to go to profile first and foremost. So this is what I do. When I'm looking at a financial plan, I start with the dashboard just to see how the assets are broken down. All right, so now we're going to go to what they have. And so here we got a joint checking account at the bank, or they put savings account. That's fine. But $28,000 liquid cash. We're going to go to their investments. And let's see what they got here. Okay, investments, and here they're. So this is Timmy's 401k. He's got Fidelity, iShares, Target Retirement Fund, Small Cap Index, S&P 500 Index, and Wells Fargo Bank Stock, Fidelity Nasdaq Index, Russell 2000 Index. So Target 20. Okay, we'll dive into the investment portfolio later on, but just want to make sure nothing jumps out at me like, oh, you got two. We want to make sure there's not more than 10% of one asset security for their whole overall net worth, of that liquid net worth, if that makes sense. So let's just say, I don't know, let's say you work for Wells Fargo company and 25% of his portfolio was in Wells Fargo stock. That concerned me. But in this case, we got Nasdaq composite index, Russell 2000 ETF, Target 2020 fund. That's a bulk, small mid-cap equity index. So kind of a little bit of redundancy there, but that's fine. S&P 500 index. So some redundancy for sure. I mean, the S&P 500 is going to be highly reflected in this Target 2020 fund. But I mean, anything for me to say, oh, don't do that. No, it looks fine to me. All right, because it's cheap. Let's go to Sara's 401k, and she's got how much? About $100,000. Mid cap, large cap, small cap, principal, and Vanguard institutional. So I'd want to know these expense ratios on the principal, mids, large, and small. So it looks pretty good to me in terms of diversification. Not sure why they got the Vanguard fund for the international but not the Vanguard funds here. I don't know, but that looks fine to me. So no big deal there. And it is a 401k. Okay. Here's his Roth 401k and target. Okay, so yeah, I don't like that. Target retirement 2020 funds. That means he's got bonds in his Roth. We don't want that. We'd much rather have the aggressive stuff here, but that's a secondary concern at this stage. Let's see what he's got in his Roth. Extend market in. Told me, all right, good. So it's all in terms of his Roth IRA, no bonds. That's good. For his Roth 401k, right here, I would change that out for sure. But again, water under the bridge at this point. And yeah, so Sarah's Roth is aggressive too. All right, so all good in the hood there for sure. Nothing jumped out at me there. That's not problematic at all. Let's take a look at their property. Oops. Let's go to the property. They own a home. Current value $250 that they bought. It doesn't say. I guess it'll say on the loan. $250 is what it's worth. They bought it for $245. Pays about $3,600 a year in property tax. That's pretty significant. That's a lot higher than I would have thought. And then annual insurance. So it ain't cheap where he lives. That's for sure. That's $5,000 a year in property tax and homeowners insurance. So whatever state he lives in, that's not cheap. All right, so that's, let's see, just look at any life insurance that jumps out of here. No, okay, good. Let's go to debts now. All right, so in debts, he's got his home. All right, so this is what I'm saying. So my man Timmy did a great job here because he fully intends to take out a home equity conversion mortgage, a reverse mortgage, to stop the cash outflow on his first mortgage, which I like. So here's his balance right now of $72,000 on his first mortgage. He's paying $990 a month. He took it out in 2007 for 25 years. I'm not sure if that's what he's got left or if that's what they took it out for 25 years. I don't know. But either way, $990 is his monthly payment, and then he's going to shut it off at age 62. So this will stop at age 62, which is pretty interesting. I haven't seen anyone do that before on the software, and it's going to work real well. I'm impressed, frankly, how he did that. Tucson as a car loan. Sarah's got a Tucson. Let's see. She balanced $15,000. So I'm not sure when they'll be paid off, but we'll look at the cash flow. Timmy's truck. Everybody's got to have a truck. He pays $679. I'm not sure when that'll be paid off. And they got a camper. Okay, so they basically got these pretty big cash flow outflows. $487. $679. That's $1,200 a month there, plus $300 a month. So basically $1,500 a month going out to pay these vehicles off. That can be a big cash flow issue. Now, what I did is he didn't have the reverse mortgage on here in terms of a liability. I put that on as a home equity loan because you can see it doesn't give us any other. It just says other loan. But I wanted to make sure that it was understood it was a home equity. Because it is home equity, literally a home equity conversion mortgage is what a reverse mortgage is. The interest rate I'm saying is 5.5%. Now he's not going to take that out until 2027. All right, and I'll show you in the cash flow how this works. And I just said loan term 40 years because it's going to be there until he dies, unless he starts paying it off. And I linked it to his primary occupant, so he's not going to not moving anytime soon. So we're linking it to that house, and I'm basically saying a balance of $100,000. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So essentially, there's no monthly payment. He's going to let this sucker ride $100,000 at 5.5% for 40 years. So you can simply say $100,000 is our present value. 5.5% is our interest. 10 years from now, this guy will be $170,000 will be his mortgage balance. 20 years from now, $291,000 will be his mortgage balance. And this is where the home equity conversion mortgages start looking good. I'm telling you right now. Because don't forget, watch this. We're going to go to his property. All right, now watch. He's only saying he's going to get a 1% annual appreciation. Well, the annual appreciation, I'll show you what I'm talking about though, but we're going to have an appreciating asset like that, but we're going to have a hugely appreciating loan on the home equity reverse mortgage home equity conversion mortgage. Don't forget those conversion mortgages, those home equities, reverse mortgages. I keep getting that mixed up. Reverse mortgages are non-recourse loans, my friends. Non-recourse loans, which means that you can never owe more than what your house is worth, which is pretty cool. So we'll show you what that looks like. All right, let's hit his goals here. Actually, let's hit his family first and foremost. So his family, Timmy's age 54, Sara age is 59. Timmy wants to retire next year. They live in Iowa. Okay, so he wants to retire next year, and Sara wants to retire. Let's see here. Sara wants to retire at 60. So she wants to retire at 62. All right, so Timmy wants to retire at 60. At 55, and Sara wants to retire at 62. All right, so good. And Timmy's 54 now. Sara's 59 now, so that's when they want to retire. Okay, and they live in Iowa. So Sara's going to work for 3 more years. Timmy just wants to work 1 more year. Does that make sense? So we're going to go to the goals. There it is. So Sara wants to retire at 62. Timmy wants to retire at 55. 1 year for Timmy and 3 years for Sara. All right, so retirement expenses. This is what they expect when they do retire, that they'll have $3,700 a month in retirement expenses. And it should reflect your average monthly expenses during retirement, exclusive of any other expenses you've entered as mortgage, debt, or insurance payments, to include property taxes. So the expense should be expressed in today's dollars and will be automatically inflated. All right, so that's going to be his retirement expenses, but he also is going to have $1,200 a month per in healthcare costs and retirement healthcare costs. Now, before you jump up and down, scream and holler, trust me, Timmy's done a great job of looking at his other medical costs, which we'll dive into right here. So essentially, this is going to be co-pays, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, co-insurance. Timmy's done a great job at doing other we call these boxes, by the way, for his co-pays and insurance. And here he's got nothing for long-term care costs. He's just saying we're not going to have that as a goal to deal with that. We'll self-insure, and I actually agree with that. All right, so let's go to income. All right, so basically his salary and Sara's salary right here. But again, those are going to stop pretty soon. All right, so we know Timmy's going to stop next year. Sara's going to stop at 62. Let's see what this is. At Sara's retirement, let's see, if you go here, Sara's retirement at 62. When Sara retires, she's still going to make $17,640 in salary part-time. I don't know what that would be, but that's what they're saying. So between 62 and 64, they're going to make $17,000 a year for Sara. Timmy's going to make $15,000 a year from the day he retires until he's 59. So I don't know what that's about, but okay, he put it in, so that's good. Timmy's got a pension, which will start at retirement, so it's going to start next year, basically $20,000 a year, with 100% survivor benefit and no cost of living adjustment. Okay, and then let's see what else we got. And then we got a reverse mortgage. So basically, this is where they're going to take $25,000 a year out in order to pay off that mortgage for that loan, that $900 a month. So they're going to do that from 2027 to 2031 and then be done with it. So essentially, for 4 years, they're going to take $25,000 out for 4 years in which to pay the rest of their mortgage off, if that makes sense. So I've never seen this. I think it's great. I like the way he did it without question. It is tax-free, so I'm a fan of that. Then he's going to do a conversion to, see, man, he did a great job. This guy, I tell you, he's going to convert the entirety of his Roth 401k to a Roth IRA. It's a tax-free conversion in 2024 because this is Tim's Roth 401k distribution is coming from his Roth 401k account. So, man, good job there. And then what he's going to do, he's going to convert $65,000 a year from his regular 401k when he turns 62 into his Roth IRA. And he'll do that until this guy's exhausted. So just, man, great job, man. I've never seen anyone do this well with this software. That's fantastic. I've never done the home equity conversion mortgage doing it on this way either. So it's pretty cool. Savings, it looks like Sara is going to save 9% until she retires. Remember, we have Timmy retiring next year, so it doesn't matter. But Sara is going to be saving 9% of her income into her 401k. Timmy's putting $6,000 a year into his Roth 401k. Again, that won't matter because he's retiring next year. Then Sara and Timmy both are going to do max into Roth IRAs until Sara retires. And Timmy had it until Sara. Yeah, okay, so sweet. Timmy had it into Sara's retirement too. Man, this guy just did a great job. This is fantastic. Let's go back to expenses. And again, the pre-retirement living expenses a lot of times doesn't matter, but they're using pre-retirement living expenses of $3,700, which they're also using for retirement living expenses. So it's a nice round number that's legitimate. That's what they're saying is what we're living on now. We expect to live on the same in retirement. So that retirement living expenses wasn't just pulled out of the air. They do $200 a month to charitable. Now here's the interesting thing: his pre-Medicare premiums, and let's see, pre-Medicare premiums for both of them. For Timmy until he hits 64. He'll end at 64 because 65 goes on Medicare. He's saying about $550 a month. And then you got Sara. Her pre-Medicare premiums will go from Timmy's retirement until she hits Medicare too. So I guess Sara probably doesn't have a benefit worthwhile from a job. So she was on Timmy's health insurance, and now they're going to have to pay out of pocket until Medicare. That's good stuff there. Now they're doing Medicare Advantage. They're saying $145 a month, and they're going to do it at, look at that. I mean, so we had $1,200 per person on their health insurance costs, and here they're just saying we're going to even narrow it down. We're going to say we're going to have another line item for Medicare Advantage premiums for when Sara hits 65, and it ends at her when she dies. Just phenomenally well done. His Medicare Advantage premium is going to be the same at 65 until he dies. I think I saw in here as well. Yeah, we got Part B. So he has a separate place for Part B when he hits 65. Medicare Part B. Oh, that's good. And then until he dies, then he's got a separate place for Sara when she hits 65, her Part B as well. So just, again, great job. They expect to spend $1,000 a month on travel and other vacation and other stuff from the age of 67 until the age of 71. They expect to spend $1,000 a month on top of the $3,700 a month of their living expenses at 67 to 71. And then that will stop. All right. What else we got in here? We got a new car. They're going to spend $500 a month on a new car at the 2022, and that will stop in 2026. Let's see. And you might be saying, how come there's no Part D? Because I'm assuming they're going to get a Part D in their Medicare Advantage plan. So that would be my assumption. Because you say, he's got Part B in there, but no Part D, and he's got a Medicare Advantage. Part D is probably going to be rolled up in here, actually. So now it's good across the board. All right, so let's take a break. We'll go to Part 2 to show you the results. So this is how we're set. Oh, I did want to go to investments. I didn't do this yet. So investments, let's just take a gander at their current breakdown. It looked pretty good to me across the board. 60% U.S. equities, basically roughly 10% or so in international and emerging markets, 5.5% real estate, 22% bonds. Man, that's just stellar across the board. What I do want to do is tax allocation. This is important here. 170 tax-free, 941 in tax-deferred, but Timmy understands the method of the madness to get these deferred into tax-free, so he gets that. So that would be an issue right there if Timmy were not aware of that, but he is, and we're working on that for sure. Let's go back to allocation here, and I just want to see on his Roth 401 IRA is aggressive. Yep, good. Sara's Roth, aggressive. Yep, good. And it was this guy right here that I would. So he's got 44% in his Roth 401k. I just don't like that. We want to make that aggressive as well. And in his 401k, we want to switch these two out. We want to switch the allocation in his Roth 401k to more reflect this right here in his allocation, and this to reflect more like he's got his Roth. But other than that, man, I got no problem with this whatsoever. It's a good mix of portfolio. It looks good to me. So let's take a break. Stay tuned for Part 2 when we do the analysis, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Click the link to the next episode, and then hit the bell to be notified. Thanks, guys.